Welcome back to Ben Leo tonight with me, Alex Armstrong. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson has called for more male teachers in schools, saying boys need stronger role models to combat toxic online influences. Well, speaking at a children's conference, Phillipson stressed that only 1 in 4 teachers are men, with fewer in primary education. She believes male teachers can help guide boys towards positive behaviour and resilience. The push, of course, comes amid growing concerns over the impact of digital media and its links to misogyny, highlighted in the Netflix series Adolescence. We are now joined by Director at Cambridge Online Education, Dr. Troy Page. Dr. Troy, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Now, there's been a lot of talk about adolescence. I'm personally a little bit sick of it. I think we should have been talking about young boys' mental health a very, very long time ago. But, you know, putting in more male teachers into schools, is that really going to solve the problem?
I think it's going to help quite considerably. You talk about a long time ago, but I can remember back in 2002, David Blunkett talking about the same thing and actually getting into quite a lot of trouble. Because a lot of people were saying that he was basically bashing female teachers for asking for more male role models. But so it's been going on a long time, and the truth of the matter is we just need to pay them properly. I mean, if we pay male teachers properly, we'll find that there's more male teachers. But yeah, of course, we need more male role models. Schools should be representative of the wider society, and frankly, they're not. There's obviously 3/4 of the teachers are female. That's not good enough. And going back to the pay argument, a 17% drop in the number of male teachers in the classroom over the last 10 years, that's down to pay.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I suspect it's also down to unruly children at school as well. That seems to be getting worse and worse behaviour in schools.
Glad you mentioned that.
Yeah,
Glad you mentioned that.
What is the impact of behaviour on in schools?
Oh, honestly, you know, I no longer teach in a state school. I've been physically attacked by teenagers,
Wow.
teenage boys. I've seen teenage boys go through windows. It's a very, very violent environment for a lot of teachers, and there are not really the protections for male teachers in particular. I mean, over 70% of accusations towards towards teachers are actually against male teachers, despite the fact that there's only 1/4 of the staff are male. So it is a serious situation, one that isn't very attractive for male teachers.
Well, what do you think is causing this behaviour crisis? Is it online influences, or is it simply a breakdown of the family unit? What is it? Is it a mixture? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's a complex question. It doesn't have any easy answers, but I think you could improve the situation considerably if we had a situation where there was enough money in a household for a parent to spend more time with their children. I think it's all well and good for Dame Rachel D'Souza to accuse parents of not giving enough time to their children and leaving their children to chat GPT to find answers about the big questions in life. It's all well and good for her to say that, but somebody's got to pay the bills. And so I've got a lot of sympathy for British families who are struggling to put food on the table. But that said, parents do need to step up. I think the Adolescence programme was very clear on that point. You know, the parents at the end there were asking, should we have done more? And that potentially is something that a lot of parents were alerted to in that particular programme. So I think parents can always do more if they're afforded the time with their children to do so. But many households struggling. So, you know, it's easier said than done.
Dr. Troy Page, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your insights on that. I want to get the thoughts of my panel, journalist and communications advisor Linda Jubilee, former Met Police Detective Peter Blexley, and former Labour Special Advisor Paul Richards. Linda, I mean, you know, Keir Starmer's made a big song and dance about this adolescent stuff in the House of Commons. We are now rolling the show out to secondary schools. I was just like, is this completely bonkers? Because, you know, in my very strong opinion, he went and met the victims of Axel Rudibakana and How on earth did that not implore him at that moment in time, but a fictional drama would?
That's what I can't understand. This is not a documentary. It's not a factual programme. It is a drama. And I know from being on a programme that made 2 half-hour programmes per week, that producers look for certain things that build impact in a drama, and they are different to the kind of observation and evidence you gather in a documentary. So first of all, but it's really important to draw that distinction, because even our guest there is saying, well, there were certain things that the Adolescence programme made clear. It's not supposed to be making anything clear.
This is it, isn't it, Peter? I mean, we seem to be completely out of touch. I mean, I'm baffled when I see the Prime Minister's had this light bulb switch on today. This has been going on for a really long time, hasn't it?
It has, but to answer the real core subject of what we're talking about, I use the example of my youngest boy, who's now 22. He went to a non-selective comprehensive school, an all-boys school. And there was a lot of young fellas there at that school who came from the tough side of the street. And the headmaster there, who I'm going to give a shout out to, Mr. Skinner, ran that school with a rod of iron. He used to frighten the life out of me on parents' evenings. He was exactly the kind of man you wanted in charge. He kept that school in order. He kept those kids in line, and they learned and they achieved. And that's what boys in school need.
Paul, your thoughts? Sorry, we have to wrap up this bit shortly, but Paul, go ahead.
Well, Bridget Phillipson's making a good point, which you do need male role models. You need leadership in schools. Peter's absolutely right. You need support for dads as well, to teach them how to be dads. And also you need, it was a great shame we abolished the Sure Starts, where a lot of this parenting skills could be taught in the community too. We should get back to that.
But we don't need to be rolling out Adolescence in school.
Well, I've not seen it, but you know, the bigger point is we do need role models.
Well, I have seen it, and I wouldn't let my children watch it below a certain age. And I think anyone watching it, it's a good piece of drama. There's no question about that.
Sure, but it's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. Anyway, coming up, Deputy Prime Minister and Housing Secretary Angela Rayner is determined to meet the target of building 1.5 million new homes by 2029. To who will these houses go